Alright. Hello everybody. Welcome to Perfectly Poor Gaming. This is definitely going to be a little bit different of a stream. So, yeah, like I said, this is going to be a little bit different of a stream. Pretty much everything. So yeah, basically, I'm just doing this stream, because, my godmother died, my godmother died a couple of days ago, and, yeah, it's a pretty sad thing. You know, it was very unexpected. And just trying to do something kind of in her memory because it's just not something that anybody expected. She was older. She was about 70. She wasn't about. She was 76. So she was definitely older. But she was a very active person. Like, she would go hiking pretty much every day. Go on like few mile hike every day. And she seemed like she was pretty healthy. She would be up doing stuff. She wasn't a person that was overweight at all or anything like that. I'd say the only thing that she really did that was pretty unhealthy was that she smoked, but like by this time in her life, she would have like 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, and her dying was definitely not related to that at all. Well, I mean, people could argue about that. However, that it contributed to her dying, which, it probably did, but I don't think that was the primary cause of her death. But, yeah, I'm basically just doing this because, like, I just wanted to, take a few minutes just to remember her, like, remember all the good things about her. Because, I feel like, a lot of times, like, especially in this day and age, like, people just kind of, like, I don't know, that just gets, like, brushed away really quickly, and I just feel like that's really sad. Like, we should be like remembering people right away. I mean, that's what funerals are for and things like that, but I just felt like I needed to do my own thing, at least for a little bit. And this isn't about views or anything like that. This is just something that I feel like I need to do, Um, yeah, and I'm not trying to make this like a super sad stream or anything like that. Uh, I don't feel like I'm gonna get super emotional. I haven't really been super emotional about it, but I might, so I don't know. We'll see, but I think part of it is just like that it was just so unexpected. Like really like nobody saw it coming. Um I really was thinking in terms of her living like at least like another like 10 years or something like that. In my mind, honestly. So yeah, it was very, very unexpected opinion, and I think everybody's opinion that was close to her. Um, yeah, so I'm just trying to be like real in the stream and just sort of talk about her, how I'm feeling, and all that. I think you know, she was a very kind person, but she was also, um, I guess you could say, like, very blunt about things, and she was just like very real. Like, she would not, she would just tell you how it was, basically. Like, if she didn't like how something was being done or how something was, she would let you know. And she was also like very like politically active. Uh, she would protest, even being like 76 years old. She'd go and protest against Trump and stuff like that. So a pretty unique person like that, and she liked to say that she was the original Karen because she would definitely complain about things that she didn't like and let you know about it. And she was pretty fierce, like for a little white lady, she could definitely like cuss up a storm. Curse more than I did for sure. So I think she's the one that taught me how to curse. What else about her? I don't know. I spent a lot of time with her as a kid. She was really good friends with my dad and my mom. She was friends with my dad first. She was a paralegal and my dad was a lawyer. So she would she worked with my dad for a very long time, doing nonprofit work, on nonprofit legal work. So helping people that didn't have the money to afford a lawyer. Mostly, I think, in like terms of like just giving people information about legal issues that they had. So I think, I always respected her and my dad a lot for their profession, because I think it was really helpful to the community. So yeah, I had a lot of respect for my dad, and her and my dad were like best friends. They got along extremely well. There was, not a lot of people like her and my dad, I feel like. they just they got along pretty well because of it. Just very sort of like blunt people. Just very real people. Like if somebody was being stupid, they wouldn't be afraid to tell them how it was, that they were doing something, that wasn't right or whatever. She always helped me out a lot. She always gave me really good advice. I remember when I moved out of my last place and moved in with her, started renting a room from her. I got really lucky, honestly, because I my other place, they said that I only had like 30 days. They gave me 30 days notice to leave, because they were moving their family into that house, and so I needed a place like pretty much right away. And I got really lucky in that, you know, in that, she had a tenant moving out of her house right when I needed a place, so I got to move in without a deposit or anything like that. So extremely lucky, because she knew me. I didn't have to pay the deposit and stuff. And I've been good to this room. I haven't trashed or anything like that. So yeah, that would make sense, right? But I just thought right now, looking back on it, I'm actually really happy that happened, because I was really close to her as a kid, but sort of like kind of lost that connection so much as I got older, because I had my own family, my kids, and my own life and things like that. But the last year or so that I've been living with her, I got to kind of sort of rekindle that connection that we had before, which was pretty cool, because I hadn't really had that much of a connection with her over the last, was it like 10 years, something like that. Yeah, probably like 10 years I haven't had as much of a connection. Maybe not that much, maybe more like 8 years. Like since I became an adult, like probably like 20, so maybe more like the last it's probably less than that, probably like 5 years or so. I didn't really have that same connection with her, and especially when I met my wife and we started living together and all that, we didn't have the same kind of connection, because my wife didn't really like her for some reason. I don't really know why. It was over some silly argument they had. It was something so dumb. It was like over... It was seriously like over like silverware at a restaurant. It was totally my wife's fault too. Like 100% my wife's fault. I don't really care what she says. It was totally her fault. It was just the dumbest argument. I mean, I feel like they were both being like pretty petty about it, but also like it was my wife's fault. 100%. But yeah, because of that, I didn't really have the same kind of connection that I did growing up, which kind of sucked, to be honest, because I always thought she was really funny. She was like a good friend to me. Um, she wasn't my actual family. Um, so it's really difficult to say, that she was anything other than a friend, but it really did feel like more than that. Because when I was growing up, I called her like Auntie, Aunt Karen, and she does that with a lot of people. Um, she befriends them and treats them like family, which is just, a really kind thing for someone to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just felt like she was a really kind person. I just, like she had this sort of new friend, and well, I don't know about, she's been friends with her for quite a while, but she wasn't friends with her when I was a kid. Um, but she became really good friends with this woman, and her younger children, which are in like middle school, call her Aunt Karen as well. So, that's just the kind of person that she was. She would get really close to people like that and become really good friends with them to the point where um, her children, you know, feel the same way that I did, that she was almost like a family member. Um, and it's really interesting because that woman is of Asian descent, so it's like that's just how far the boundaries would be crossed. Because, well, not that there's anything wrong with being Asian, but to have children that regard, Asian children that regard like a white woman as a family member, almost like an auntie, is like it's pretty unusual. So, that just shows, how much of an impact that she had on people, to regard her so highly like that. Um, so, it does make me sad that she passed away, in sort of, just sort of a sudden way. Um, it was strange. I talked to her the day before the night that she died, and she told me that she wasn't feeling very well. That she was sick, and she looked kind of pale, like she had a flu or something like that. But she was up, doing things, walking around, and joking with me. So I really didn't think that it was that severe. I didn't think anything of it. I certainly didn't think that well, I'm not gonna say I didn't think anything of it, but I certainly didn't think that she was gonna pass away from whatever she had. But the next day, I got a call, or I got a text from the neighbor actually while I was at work, that she had passed away, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't. I was like, how, like, that's crazy. And I think still I'm kind of like in shock because it was just so sudden and unexpected. So I haven't even really been able to like fully process it. Though I'm trying to, but luckily I'm in a therapy appointment in 3 days. I'll talk about it then. But yeah, another thing too was that her and my mother were really good friends as well. Um, she was good friends with both my dad and my mom. Um, and my my mom would do a lot of things with her. Um, you know, they would do all sorts of things together. They would, have girls' nights and go out dancing and things like that, from what I've heard. Um, we used to go to dinner with her quite often, and it was pretty funny. Sometimes her and my mom would drink a little bit too much, and they would just be ridiculous. It was so funny. Um, just have good meals and things like that. Really good times, all of us, me and my dad and her and my mom. And yeah, we would go on vacations and things together. We used to spend a lot of time, like in the summers, we would go to all sorts of different states and things like that. But our favorite place to go was to Colorado because it's beautiful there. I ended up moving there for a couple of years because I liked it so much there. But yeah, we would do all sorts of things there. We would, have nice dinners and go to weird places, go to all sorts of hot springs and unusual places. Go river rafting, and they'd be falling out of the boat. I remember like we all went river rafting one time, and like all three of them fell out of the boat at one point. It was hilarious. They just kept falling out. I don't know why. I was like the only one who didn't fall out. But yeah, just funny stuff like that. Weird shows and things like that. I remember it was that weird one we went to. We went to some like, I don't even know. It was so weird. It was like an outdoor sort of theater, and it was like this Love Potion #9 theater play or something like that. It was really weird, but yeah, we would just do weird shit like that. It was just funny. Like we had such fun times together, just doing the weirdest shit. I remember we went to Idaho, and I was a teenager, so I was like a young teenager. So I was like really, really obnoxious because I have ADHD too. So sometimes I would be like really obnoxious as a kid. So I remember like I was doing this really annoying shit. Like I kept like flipping the switch on the car doors. So like the child safety lock would go on. So she'd be like locked in the back of the car because she kept riding in the back and she couldn't get out, and she was like cursing at me and stuff. It was so funny. Um, yeah, just funny shit like that. Um, um, yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of nice moments with her. Even when I was like a teenager, like 16, 17, 18, I had a lot of like pretty personal moments with her because we would be camping or something like that, and at the time I started smoking when I was about 16, so like I don't want to say my parents didn't care, but like they didn't really stop me smoking. But obviously they didn't really want to be around people who were smoking. But a lot of times she was like the only person I knew that smoked, so I would be there smoking with her, and we were just friends. We would talk, laugh, and have a good time, and thank you for the like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, we would talk and laugh while we were smoking and having a good time, and um, you know, she was just a nice person to be around, and I think a lot of people felt that way. Just enjoyed her company. Uh, we always spent holidays with her. Um, like a lot of Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that. She was always there. And that reminds me of this new friend she has. Well, I keep saying new friend. She was friends with her a long time, but she just wasn't friends with her when I was a kid. So that's why. But like she became like an integral part of their family. To the point where um they'd spend every holiday together. They'd spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. And I know it's really hard for that woman because when she came over the other day after she had passed, she was so upset, and she was just talking about how she was about to talk to her about making Thanksgiving plans soon, because they usually have a big Thanksgiving. It makes me wonder, like, well, I was gonna say what I'm gonna do for Thanksgiving, but I know exactly what I'm gonna do for Thanksgiving because I have two good friends that will always invite me to everything. I should actually see if he wants to come to their Thanksgiving. That would be nice, actually. Maybe, I don't know. It's their dad's thing. Well, it's his house and everything, so I don't know if he wants me inviting them over, though I don't really think he'd have a problem with it. He invites all sorts of random people over for Thanksgiving, and I think he would probably like her. She's pretty funny. Um, uh, um, hmm. Yeah, it's just so weird. And I just saw her a few days ago. That she's gone. And it was really when I got the call that or the text that she had passed away, I went from work home, and I talked to the police officer that was here because he was still here for a little while, just trying to get some details and stuff. And he let me go and see her body before they took her away. And I'm really glad that I had left when I did because I was like one of the few people that got to see her before they took her away. And yeah, I mean, it was really just like me and like her two neighbors, which they knew her, but they didn't know her like lot of people knew her, but even they were extremely sad about it and torn up because she was just a nice person. She was a good neighbor, you know. And so, but like in terms of, people who are really close, like a relative, I was the only one who saw her body, So, yeah, um, I don't know. I'm just glad that I got to see her before they took her away. Um, and it seemed like she was sleeping when she passed away. Um, well, the reason why I think that she was sleeping was because her eyes were closed, but I don't know. Maybe, perhaps the police officer closed her eyes, but I'm not really sure. Because from what the neighbor said, they she was face down in the bed, and they had flipped her over, which I didn't know until later on. But apparently that's what happened. Hold on, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick because I have to go to the restroom. Okay. But yeah, anyways, yeah, this is crazy because, after they took her away, we went back into the room to see, like what had happened. And, she had told me the day before that she wasn't feeling very good. And she also said that she had like an accident when she was on her hike like a couple days before. And when we went into the room, she had all this like anti-gas medication, like peptide stuff, and so she must have not been feeling very well. But like, you know, people have gas. It's not like they're gonna die. Like that's just crazy. So I don't know what it was. And we and the police officer couldn't really tell me, like the cause of death. I'm not even sure, like, if he really knew, because I think he called the coroner, but the coroner didn't come for whatever reason. Maybe just because, like, they didn't think it was really suspicious or anything. And I'm not sure if they're gonna do a biopsy or whatever. Like, that's really up to her family, which are like in Ohio, so I really have no idea what's gonna happen with that. But yeah, like everything, in bed with her, other than like the COVID test and the medicine, was like pretty normal stuff. Like she had like her knitting needles and her yarn. Like she was making She was making like things for Christmas for people. Like I have a blanket from her, like right over there. Um, so she was probably making some stuff for Christmas for kids and stuff. And she had like a half-eaten Hershey's bar in bed with her. So like she must have not been feeling that bad, because like who eats chocolate like when they're sick out of their mind, you know? So it's just wild. Hard to believe that somebody would just be like sitting in bed eating chocolate, you know? I'm about to die. That's just insane. Um yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I mean, she was there for me for like a lot of big moments in my life, you know. She was there, um, you know, like when I graduated high school. She was there like when I got my AA degree. She was there when I got my um when I graduated from Cal Poly from university and got my BA. She was just there for me, you know. It was like it really was like almost having like a second mom, because my mom passed away several years ago, and you know, I was kind of lost. Like I didn't know who to turn to like get advice and things like that, because my dad was always like a very stoic person. Like I love my dad a lot, and he does give me good advice sometimes. But it's just not really. It's not really the same, you know. It's like having to tell you what you need to do and what you need to hear and things like that. Um, so yeah, she would just help me out a lot. Like I was, um, I started talking about how when I was moving out of my last place, I moved in with her. But what I was going to talk about is that when I moved out of my last place, the owner of the rental was basically just trying to stiff me um, the whole amount of the deposit, and even I at first was like no, like you need to give me some of my deposit back. Like it's not that bad, you know. Like I don't know what you need to do, but it's not. It was like I don't know. It was like $1,000 or something like that. I was like, there's no way that room needs $1,000 of cleaning or work or whatever, you know. Um, so he kept, you know, he was like, okay, I'll give you 200 or something like that, and I was still like, no. And I think I got him to. I think I got him to like 400 or something like that he was gonna give me, and I was just gonna take it. And I was seriously done with him. It was like back and forth for like weeks. I was just so tired of it. I was just gonna take the $400. And she's like, no, like don't do that. Like she's like, you need to like tell him that he can't do that and that you're gonna like take him to court basically. And she like gave me all the like legal writing, like how to write it out, because she was a paralegal. And he ended up giving me like my whole deposit back. So, you know, I really appreciated that. You know, not like a crazy thing, but you know, it was a lot of money, a pretty good amount of money. So, you know, she would just help me out with things like that, and she like helped me out to get like my insurance fixed and things like that. Just she just knew a lot of stuff too. She's really smart. Her and my mom were like very intelligent women. Like just just very learned people. Yeah, and, like when her and my dad and my mom would talk about, would talk to each other, they would talk about like a lot of really highbrow stuff, because they were they would be very well informed. Like they would always read the newspapers like all the time and watch the news all the time, and they knew all about politics and stuff. So, I just learned a lot from all of them. And I still think it's crazy that her and my mom passed away because, her and my mom were both really healthy people, unlike me and my dad, who are not very healthy. We just kind of eat whatever we want and stuff like that. So, I kind of felt like, her and my mom were gonna outlive both me and my dad, but, it's just how the dice shook out, Crazy, yeah, that we're still around and they aren't, but, that's just how it is. Anyways, I was gonna go a little longer, but I'm getting really tired, so I think I'm just gonna end it pretty soon. I just want to do one thing first, though. I'm just going to say a little prayer for her and my mom, and then I'll go ahead and end stream. God, thank you for the lives of Karen and my mom, for their love and their strength, and all the ways they've made the world brighter. I pray that you hold them close in peace and light, and free from pain and worry. Help me carry their kindness forward, to live in a way that honors what they taught me, and to feel their presence when I need it most. Even in sadness, let their memories fill me with gratitude and love. May their spirits rest in calm and beauty, forever remembered and never far from my heart. Amen. Okay. If you watch the stream, thank you. Appreciate anybody who watches my streams. I know this was kind of a very different one. It's just something that I wanted to do, so.